What's up, guys? It's Andrew from Gem TCG, and today I'm here with Poke Pastor. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics when it comes to selling Pokemon cards online and our journeys with starting it, and just a bunch of other topics like that. And Poke Pastor, if you want to just introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's TJ. I run a business called Poke Pastor TCG. We're similar to Andrew. I sell, buy and sell lots of Pokemon cards, and then I make content on YouTube. And just again, similar to Andrew, my content is all based around helping people start their store and get their store off the ground and to grow and sell more cards. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. But I'm excited to kind of chat through all things cards, man. This is fun.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. And one good thing is that I make a lot of videos about eBay, but TJ does a lot of videos about TCGplayer. So I think that combination will be very helpful for a lot of you that maybe need more help with TCGplayer compared to eBay, and then vice versa.
yeah, yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, and then so you have a hybrid approach, right? So you do like both eBay and TCGplayer, but you focus on TCGplayer.
Yeah, so I really only sell on eBay for like slabs. I don't, here's like, this is kind of fun. The entirety, this is like the entirety of my slab inventory. So not a ton. So I just have like whatever slabs I have happened to pick up in collections, I sell on eBay, obviously, because TCG Player doesn't allow slabs. Um, and so mostly TCG Player, but anything that I can't sell there, I'll sell on eBay. So.
Nice, yeah, yeah. That's kind of how I started. Like I was doing mainly TCGplayer, and then I realized that some cards just wouldn't sell there. So I was like, okay, let me try eBay, and then I
Yep.
just noticed
Yeah.
that it was going well, so I just kept going with that. So then, when you buy collections, are you mainly looking for like items that will sell on TCGplayer? You don't look at other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, not really. So like I will basically when I make a post or when I'm looking for stuff, I'll just like specifically ask for like English raw cards. And so if people have slabs and if someone sends me like a collection or like a collector list or something and they have a high volume of slabs, I usually tell them that I'm not their guy just because I don't well, I mean, like you say, in order to make it work on eBay, you have to have like a pretty sizable inventory and be able to put and I don't have that right now. I could, if I wanted to like scale in that way, I could build up the eBay side of things, but right now I'm just strategically just focusing on TCG players. So
Yeah, yeah, that's valid. And then I think we talked about this earlier, but do you do TCG Direct, right?
yeah, yeah. So I've been selling in the direct program for a while. I actually have two different accounts on TCG Player because of the way direct works. Um, well, you can't sell everything on direct. Direct, really, they only have, to my knowledge, Magic and Pokemon cards. Maybe they do Yu-Gi-Oh, but I can't. I haven't sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so I'm not sure. But primarily, I sell English raw, near mint singles on the direct account, and then everything else on the other account. I don't really want to mess around with any cards that have play on them on the direct program because I've had like it just gets really dicey when it comes to conditioning where like if I say something's lightly played and then it gets sent in with the direct program and they're like, oh, it's actually moderately played, or I just don't want to have to deal with any of that stuff. And so those cards I sell on the like non-direct account.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I've heard it's like if it's a worse condition, you have to buy it in the right condition, and then they send you the worse one.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a whole
Yeah,
bunch of stuff.
discrepancies are the worst, man. Which I mean, like to be fair, you still do have discrepancies when you sell like non-direct, just self-fulfilled orders. Is you have customers that reach out and say like, "Hey, I
Hmm.
ordered a near mint card. It's lightly played," and then you have to deal with it. So it is just a little different, but yeah, yeah, just pros and cons to everything for sure.
Yeah, because I was thinking about doing direct, but that whole conditioning thing is what scares me. Because I don't want to, because I ship things and like a card with a minor whitening on it. Sometimes I'll consider it near
Yep.
mint if it's a playable card
Yep.
and whatever. People don't care, but TCGplayer, if they care, it's like, oh, now I gotta return it and then go through that hassle. I don't know if I could deal with that.
Yeah. Oh, this is kind of fun, man. Let me ask you this question. Let me get a little consult for you. So I picked up a collection yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and it has this. This is a cool card, right? Gengar,
Yeah, yeah.
the like tag team guy. Okay, so it's all minty except for, if you can see here, there is like a. Let me see. It's kind of fun.
I
Will it
think I see
focus?
it.
Oh
It's a little
shoot.
blurry, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Like it's got like a white speck up top there, but everything else is clean.
yeah.
And so I was trying to like talk with this guy on whether or not he thought it was near mint or not. And I ended up buying it at near mint because I'll probably just list it as near mint with a picture, so I can like let people know that there's a little white dot on top of it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
what
don't
would you
know.
say with something like that?
Like technically that would be light play, but I would still
Yeah,
consider that near mint, and I think most people would still consider it near mint, especially because it's so
yeah,
old now. It's like, how old is that card? Like nine
right.
years or something, or 8 years
Yeah,
probably.
totally, dude.
Yeah,
Yep,
but
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
cause yeah, I don't know, cause it's like on TCG Player, if someone messages me and they're like, "Oh, I bought it at near mint, but this card I got was lightly played," I'll refund them, no problem. But like all
yeah.
those fees that would come with the direct, it's just scary. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It is scary. And I mean, I was just talking with someone this morning about direct, and I had watched a video recently where Brian at Poke was talking about hiring employees and how, like, to scale sometimes, and he was all afraid of it. But I guess the way that I was challenged or I thought about it in my head is, at least for me in my business, the way I view direct now is that direct is basically an employee for me,
Hmm.
like where I basically pull cards from my inventory and then I have this employee direct and they send them to customers, right? And so I pay them a percentage of the sale to send them out to customers. And so that helps me kind of justify it a little bit more in my head, to where, are my margins worse because I'm selling on direct? Yes, but it just is frees me up to do other stuff.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
that's definitely smart. I heard, so it's like the fees is anything under $3 is like 50%. I've heard the fees, which is that eating
Yeah,
up a lot of the profit for you?
yeah, I mean that's a ton. Now also, like, I'll list cards in that range, like 50% above market, and so like, it kind of equals out, I guess, a little bit. And they do
Hmm.
sell at that, because usually people are willing to pay a premium to buy in the direct program. So yeah, but would say that, as I see like orders come in and someone bought like a 90-cent card from me, I definitely don't get as excited as I
Hmm.
would if I, was shipping that card out myself. So that's just kind of part of it, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
when those orders come in, because for TCG Direct, for those of you that don't know, it's like every other day, I think you get like an invoice of the cards that you need to send out in one big box. And
Yeah.
then is that like it shows you the totals, right? You don't have to go like through each order and then put it in like
Yep.
one by one, right?
Yeah, it just gives you like a big list, and then you do have to send it in the right order. That I mean, they basically have you set up your inventory in this way. But yeah, and it's not every other day, or there's no like set amount of days. It's pretty much once you hit a certain financial amount.
Hmm.
So I think it's like once you hit like $1,000 worth of sales, then it'll generate one, instead of like, over like every couple of days or whatever. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that helps a lot because, like, for me, if I get 20 orders, I'll be pulling, one card from here and then one card from somewhere else, and then I keep going back and forth. But I think if you just get one invoice and you need 10 copies of this
yep,
card and then you just
yep,
do it all together,
yeah.
I think that's a very good benefit for that.
Yeah, and I think it's like, I was just this morning, I was, going on my way to the gym, and I looked at, you get your email from TCGplayer saying like, here's your summary of yesterday.
Hmm.
And I think yesterday I had like 50, like 52 orders or something like that. Now, on a normal day, like if I was not in the direct program and I got 52 orders, I would be like strategically in my head thinking like, okay, tonight I'm probably not going to be able to hang out with my wife because I'm going to
Yeah.
have to go and I'm going to have to send out these orders, right?
Hmm.
But now it's like, I just wait until it generates and then I send out all those cards. And again, I pay for that. I make
Hmm.
less money on those sales because of that. But it's just like a, cost of doing business. Like, what's more important to you? I could be making more money, for sure, if I wasn't in that program, but then I'd be spending a lot more time too. So it's like a give and take situation.
Yeah. And that kind of brings up another thing that people talk about is like selling on Facebook. You obviously you have less fees, but you get less revenue because you're selling less items. So it's like with
Yeah,
direct,
man.
you're probably selling probably 10 times the amount, but you're losing a much larger amount of fees, but overall you're making more like sales, more profit anyways.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I like to think of it like this. Like, sure, like I mean, we both have cards in our inventory that if we sold them in person and like met people, like we could make more money than we will when we sell them online, like perhaps, right? But at the same time, like we'd be selling a lot less cards, and we'd have to drive to, meet up at a gas station or something. And it's like, all of that stuff is worth considering for sure. And so sometimes just shooting stuff out in an envelope or taking a trip to the post office or throwing stuff in a mailbox, like, is just easier. Yeah.
And you can make sales while you're not working. So it's like passive in a way, I guess. But because like even if you drive to someone, that's like a 30-minute process depending on how far they are. So it's like, this is very time-consuming stuff if you're meeting locally for all these sales.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%, dude. But how did you, Andrew, like, I know you've been at this for a few years now, but how did you get into like selling cards, and like what caused you to start like a card business?
Yeah, so when I was like probably in middle school or like elementary school, I used to trade like Pokemon cards with my friends and open packs and all that. Yeah. But then I completely gave it up. Like I stopped playing it, and then during COVID time, one of my friends or like someone I knew posted on Snapchat, and they said, if you have Pokemon cards, let me know, I'm buying them. Because at this time it was like the boom when Charizards, all that was hype. Gary V, Logan Paul, and then I was like, I reached out to him. He wasn't interested in what I had because looking back, it was like basically bulk junk cards. But I looked it up, and then I saw PSA listings, like PSA 10s of the versions that I had, and I was like, oh wow, these cards are worth so much. But I didn't factor in that these cards were not PSA 10s, and I didn't realize what that was. So I was like, wait, I could sell these online and maybe make some money doing it. So I started selling those cards that I had, and then the sales were just like slowly coming in. So I just started reinvesting and buying stuff, and it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that's epic. It is so funny how these things start. And I think it's like, you found out quickly that was something that you enjoyed, right? Like that, like the process of it, like it was something that you like got fulfillment out of. And that's like why I always tell people, like, if you're on the fence, like just start, because you'll find out real quick that, hey, I like this or I don't. Because if you would have been like selling those things in your first few orders, you're like, like this kind of sucks. You wouldn't still be doing it, but you found out that you liked it. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
But what about you? How did you get into this?
Yeah, kind of similar. I mean, it wasn't like back during the boom. It was just, I guess like a year ago I started, but I had, my daughter I've got 3 kids, but my oldest is 6. And when she was like 4 or 5, we like started opening some packs together here and there. And we just had a bunch of stuff sitting around. And we didn't really ever look at it or anything. And so I was like, like this stuff's just sitting here. I'm going to sell it. At the same time, I had kind of acquired some like investments, like just some booster boxes that were sitting around. And I was like, well, at some point I'm going to want to liquidate these. And in order for that to happen, I'm going to want to like have a platform that I can sell it on. So I might as well take these cards here, and I might as well just like start selling on TCGplayer just to get rid of them. And so I did, and it was like I had fun doing it, like seeing the sales come in, feeling that like dopamine hit of like, wow, someone bought your card. I was like, like, this is kind of sick. Like, okay. And so I kept doing it. And then I was like, okay, I'll buy people's collections at 60-70%, and then I'll sell those. And this was back when, gosh, you probably remember this, dude. Like this time last summer, bro, I feel like people were selling sealed collections, and I could buy people's like ETBs at like 65-70%, and it was awesome. And so I did. Nowadays, those days are gone, man.
Yeah, now it's like 85 minimum for sealed collections.
Yeah, and they'll get it too. Like people want sealed, they'll get 85 for their sealed stuff. Probably it's crazy.
I think because of all the whatnot, like rip and ships and pack openings, I think that's definitely spiking those prices up. But last year was crazy. I remember buying like 151 ETBs for $50 to $80. I think was the price, and now it's $220.
Yeah, dude.
It's like,
I know,
it's crazy.
Dude, I remember meeting someone. I can't remember when exactly this was, but I met someone. And I bought a case of 151 boxes for like a case of 151 ETBs, so 10 ETBs, and I bought it at like $700. And they were like, man, what are you going to do with these? Like, this is kind of crazy. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, something tells me that they're going to be
Yeah.
sought after, and yeah, so those are still sitting somewhere here.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
investment right there. Because I don't know why it was so like not looked at. Because it was literally
I
the
don't know,
150.
man.
It's the only time it's been done with all the 151 cards, and then has like
Yeah,
all those cool hits. So I don't know. It's crazy. The
yeah, that is it is cool, and I feel like that's probably the biggest. That's like in terms of singles, that's probably the biggest inventory that I have is 151 cards. I feel
hmm
like out of all my singles, I have the most cards in that set probably. Because even like the reverse hollows and stuff just hold value, as you know, like
Yeah.
because people are always trying to like master set that, and so I've got so many. Uh, what was it like the Metapod reverse hollow from 151 is like a $2 card or something like that. It's like
Seriously,
okay,
dang.
yeah,
I had a variation listing on eBay with like all the 151 reverse hollows, and I think I sold like
yeah,
3,000 of them in since it's been listed. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It is crazy, dude. That's people, and those are the things like people just that's why I like bulk so much, and I know you've talked about that too. But I really want to focus on that, like strategically this next year. I want to put a bunch of emphasis on the bulk side of the business,
hmm
just because I've got the direct program, and that makes it, I guess, a little less overwhelming because I'm not sending out all of those individual cards. But man, there's so much like so many 20, 30, 40, 50 cent cards that people are just willing to let go of for a penny a piece,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty
It's
sick.
one thing I was gonna make a video. I realized this today, or like it clicked today that buying bulk from collectors is so much better than buying it from resellers or stores because
Yes,
I bought a
yes,
collection. Some guy drove to me yesterday. And it was like $600 worth of bulk, and I was going through a few of the ETBs. There was like Sun and Moon reverse hollows, just like hundreds of them, and it's like those are worth minimum $1 probably if you were to sell them on
yeah, yeah,
TCG
man.
player. It's
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I think like that's one of the at some point I've got a video planned on like how to negotiate, and that's one of like that's been maybe the best negotiation tactic that I've done is like if I'm having a hard time with a collector coming to like a price, like I throw out the question of like, hey, like I can't do that. They're wanting like 75%. I'm trying to stay 70, right?
hmm
Like I can't do that. Do you have any bulk laying around by chance? Question mark. And they're like, oh yeah, I have a crap ton. And I was like, okay, how much is a crap ton? And then they send me like a picture or whatever. They tell me how much. And I was like, okay, we can do 75%. Just
Yeah.
send me all that stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That's smart because a lot of people don't even realize that their bulk is worth value. Like it's
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah.
Like some people, so many people I know that just throw away their cards, and I'm like, oh, it bothers me so much when I hear that.
Yeah, man, it sucks.
Yeah.
Totally, dude. Yeah, so that's one of the things. Like, I don't know. I guess this next year, or it's coming. I put down my deposit, and I was supposed to get here in like September, August, or something like that. But I did put down a deposit on the Fizz batch,
hmm
and so that's like a big card sorting machine, and I'm excited to rent it for 3 months and then decide if I want to like stick to the lease and roll that into like my business moving forward. So
Nice, nice.
yeah.
I've always been interested in getting something like that. And if you don't mind,
Yeah.
how much was the deposit and then like the monthly cost for that?
Yeah, so it is expensive. The deposit is 3,300, and obviously you would get that back at the end of the lease, or like you'd roll it into like the thing. But then the actual price of the machine outright is, I think, I can't remember if it's 30 or 31, but like $30,000 is like how much the machine costs. And the way that it works is, so you put down the deposit, and then if you do like the lease over, I can't remember if it's 4 years or 5 years. With the software and everything, the cheapest you can make it is like $700 a month, which is significant, but
hmm
it's not like, I guess like the way I'm looking at it is, do I think that I can get $700 a month of value out of a machine like that? I think I can.
hmm
But what's cool is they'll let you rent it for, because that's the lease fee, the $700 a month. To rent it is $1,400 a month, but when you first get it, they'll let you rent it for up to 3 months. And then at the end of those 3 months, if you decide you do want to go forward with the purchase, they'll take that money that you spent renting it and roll it into like your value of it. So you're not like just out that money. I built up. I've got a pretty big backlog of bulk that I've just been waiting on. Because when it gets here over that 3-month period, I just want to like crush it and see if it's going to be worth it or not. And yeah, I'm excited to try that out. So
Yeah. No, that's really cool.
yeah,
But 30K is, man, that's scary.
it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm
I
sure
don't
for
know,
like
but
big,
I'm even thinking just like a time thing, like time. I mean, at least like in this season of my life, like I love doing this business and stuff, but time is just so valuable. And if it's something where picking up collections, and it's the worst for me when I've got collections that I've picked up and I know I've got to sort them, I know I've got to list them, I know I've got to put them away in the inventory. And if this is a way I can like automate that and get it done so I can have more time, like yeah, I think I'm hoping I can make it worth it.
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
yeah.
It's good that you get that like lease thing and you're not just buying it outright because you never know if it's
Yeah.
actually worth it or not. But that's smart.
Yeah, I know.
Plus,
Yeah.
because like sorting and dealing with bulk, it's very straining when you're doing it for like multiple hours a day.
Yes,
So,
dude.
so that's definitely good
Yes.
for your health, I guess. You know.
Well, and like there are cards that like, and you've gone through a lot of bulk. I've gone through a lot of bulk, but undoubtedly, like there are cards that have value that I don't know about, especially with like older sets. And so, like the ability to send it through this machine, and it's like you put the filter on it to be like, hey, sift out any card that is over 15 cents in value and put it in this tray, and it'll do that. Like so, where I don't have to like know like okay, like how much is this? How much is this? Like. So I'm excited for that because I'm sure I've gotten rid of stuff that has had value to it. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember going through
yeah.
bulk one time, and there was like a Holon transceiver card. It's like a really old from Holon Phantoms, and it was like a $20
Yeah.
card, and I paid a penny for it. So it's like there's
Yeah.
definitely value in
I
there.
I didn't know that this was the case, but apparently it's because some people play like expanded, which means you're not just playing cards that are in like the current rotation, but you're playing like with all of the older stuff too. And so I guess there's some older cards that people want to use for decks that are difficult to come by, and so that's why some of those things are expensive. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense because a lot of X, Y, and Sun and Moon cards are really valuable too. Like the bulk cards that you wouldn't expect, and they're like $5 to $7 because they're so rare now.
it's crazy, dude. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
And then
yeah,
one
man.
thing, because it's like summertime, and a lot of people have been talking about this, is that summer slowdown. And I think everyone has been
Yeah.
realizing this, but to those of you that are maybe new to selling, like handling this slowdown, what are your thoughts on that? Or like, what do you have to tell them?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that I want to tell them is like, don't get discouraged because this is happening to everyone. Like you made a video the other day talking about how like your sales are down. And I think like when you're used to like putting in time and seeing your business like, okay, I put in this time and it's growing. Then when like you start to flatline or even you have months that go down, you're like, you can start to get like toxic pretty quick and be like, man, like I'm not very good at this. I'm struggling. And I think that can be discouraging. And so this is just part of the collectibles world is there are slower months where summer happens and people are going to card shows, people are buying cool outdoor stuff. And so I think, yeah, just stick through it. And as people are getting rid of their collections in the summer, if you have the capital, even though sales aren't crazy busy for you right now, if you can pick up collections now, it will be worthwhile because fall's going to hit, winter's going to hit, holiday season's going to hit, and people will be buying cards again, and you want those cards in your inventory. So that's what I would say. How about you, man?
Yeah, no, I agree 100% because it really is the perfect combination. Like summer
Yep.
leading into that holiday season, it's perfect to make a lot of profit. And since people want cash to go on vacation and buy all this like summer stuff, they want to sell the stuff that they're not like using. So their sealed investments or their collections, they'll easily get rid of it. And paired with like prices are down right now, it's a win-win. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, it is. And I do think like there is like something else to be said where I think this is probably the most saturated the hobby has been with like whatnot people, business people, just people trying to like figure out how to make money in this space, which like I think that's fine.
Hmm.
But just so you guys know who are watching, like the majority of people like aren't going to be around forever. Like, because it is a hobby where people, hop in and out all the time. And so like one of the best ways you can make it is just by being that stable and steady person that, rides out the ups and the downs, and you just, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, exactly. I think one thing, Rudy, Alpha Investments, he said the average person in this stays for like 6 months at most. And so
It's
that's
crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
if there's, let's say 10,000 people selling, probably half of those people are going to be gone by the end of this year. So
Yep.
definitely don't be worried about the competition, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Let me ask you this question, man, because I get this a lot from people who watch my channel. Like, if you like, it's sometimes I think people watch us and they're like, oh, like you get to buy $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 collections because you've been at it for a while, and so it's easy for you to make plays. But like, I don't have that. I've got $500 or I've got $1,000. What would you do? Like, if you were starting this brand new and you had, let's say, $1,000 to start a Pokemon business with, how would you get it rolling?
Hmm. Well, actually, I did. I started with like $500 when I first started, and then I had like 25
Yeah,
random cards. But honestly, what I
yeah,
would start with is probably bulk because you can get so much inventory, and then it's
yeah,
no like risk,
yep,
no risk of investment. Like if you buy $10 worth of
yeah.
bulk, it's not fluctuating that much, so
Right,
it's
right.
whatever. And then, I mean, you could even still buy collections because, like, you don't have to buy $1,000 collection. I remember when I first
Right.
started, I was buying $200 collections or like $100 collections, and it's pretty like just start small. Don't worry about like
Yep.
getting those big sales and trying to get the Umbreon VMAX sales. Like focus on
Yeah,
those
yeah,
little
yeah, man.
cheap ones. I even made a video that actually a lot of it's like my most popular video for some reason. It's why $2 to $5 cards are like better than those expensive ones because it's such a low
Yeah,
risk
dude.
and you can make so much more like
Yep.
percent profit. So I think just start small and then snowball from there is what
Yeah.
I would recommend.
It's true, man. Gosh, that's so true. And like the way that I look at it is those, dude, like selling the Moonbreon, which I'm sure you've done. Like that's cool. That's sexy. It's cool to like see like one sale and it's like, man, I just made $200 on one transaction. Like that's epic. And it is like that's cool. But how many times you get to do that? Like it's not very scalable because those are a dime a dozen. Like you get lucky and you happen to have a deal that comes by where you get to do that. But
Hmm.
the cheaper cards, the bulk stuff is so much more attractive to me because it's repeatable. You can do it again and again and again. So yeah, like I would tell people to maybe try and like if I had $1,000, I would maybe spend like a couple hundred on like liquid cards that are cheap that I know would like sell. So like maybe $5 plus cards from like 151. Like if I think of a card like the Nidoking from 151, I would buy as many of those that I could and just sell them because I feel like that card is one that it just moves all the time. But stuff like that, like illustration rares from 151, go like so quick. Just so that I could get sales on the platform and get to level 4. Because at least the way TCG Player works, you don't really get to start playing the game until you're level 4, just in terms of like how shipping works.
Yeah.
So I would try and like spend a couple $100 just to get there. And then after that, yeah, man, I would do bulk. I would learn the bulk trade. I would download TCG Player or no, Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and you don't have to like be good at the game, but like playing the game just helps you learn like which cards are competitive and which cards people are going to want.
Hmm.
And then just start to build knowledge, and then buy bulk and find out which cards are valuable. And that's how I would get rolling. And then like when opportunities come up, if you see a $500 collection and you think you can get it for $350 or $325 or something like that, like go for it, man.
Yeah.
But that's what I would
Absolutely.
do.
And then two things I thought of is like even selling those big expensive cards, it's stressful. Like when you're shipping a card that's
Yeah,
$500 and then you don't know if it's gonna get lost or someone's gonna want to return it. There's so many things that could go wrong, and it's like when I sell something like that, I'm always checking the tracking just to make sure it gets delivered on time and like
Yeah,
all
dude.
that
Yeah.
because it's scary. But the good thing with eBay is that they have that authenticity program now. So it's like
Yeah, that
anything
is cool.
over,
Yeah.
I don't know what the dollar amount is. I think it's like 300 or something. They'll authenticate it.
Mm.
So then if someone returns it, then they authenticate it on the way back. So they can't like swap it, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, eBay has a few things that are pretty, like the envelope system with eBay is pretty sick.
Hmm.
Like that's definitely a pro that eBay has over TCG Player that is attractive is the envelope system and like because that's for cards under $20, right? Or orders under $20.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
for a single card under $20 and then the total order under 50. So there's like a
yeah,
two part to it. Yeah.
that's pretty sweet. Yeah, like that's a great system
Hmm.
for sure. That's really cool.
Yeah. And one thing I learned actually from one of the patrons was that if if it gets lost, they insure the value. So it's like you're saved
Yeah,
very heavily on that.
yeah,
And I didn't know that. I've been selling on there for
dude.
3+ years. I never knew that they would insure it. So I've just been losing money on those
Yeah,
return like
man.
lost
Oh, it's
packages.
crazy, dude. I feel like there's so many things that I've learned. Like, and you always feel so stupid when you've been doing something for a while and then you learn something. You're like, wait, what?
Hmm.
Like this is a good one. Did you know that? Maybe you probably know this. Did you know that TCG Player fees, the marketplace fee, caps out at $50?
Seriously? I did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, if you sell a $2,000 card, you're going to pay the 3% credit card processing fee, and then a flat fee of $50,
Wow.
and that's it. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I was just assuming like it's the 13-14% for everything. And
Hmm.
so I just remember one time I sold what's the lovebirds, the
Ladios?
Latios,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I sold that one time and I clicked on the transaction and I was like, wait, like what? They had to have made a mistake. And so I literally contacted TCG Player. I was like, hey, like, please don't take this money away from me, but I think you guys like made a mistake here and are paying me like too much. And they're like, no, 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 like marketplace fee caps out at $50. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
great, great. This
Yeah.
is awesome.
No, you're
Yeah.
better than me. I would have taken that $50 fee and ran with it. I would not have let
Yeah.
them
Well, I
know.
just wanted to make sure that I didn't want them to like yoink it like down the
Oh yeah.
road. Like when, yeah.
Yeah. But no, that is good to know because like if you're selling a very expensive card, I'd rather list it on TCG Player than
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very good to know. And then, dang, I feel like I was gonna say something, but while I'm thinking
That's
of
okay, dude.
that, there is another
Yeah.
question, and it's like, you and I both work, and then we do the content and sell Pokemon cards
Yeah.
on the side. So it's like,
Mhm.
how do you balance that? Because and you have a family, so it's like you're even more
Mhm.
busy. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this is something I'm pretty passionate about, and something that is important is like, uh, if you don't find out a good way to balance those things, you're just not going to be in this space for very long. In fact, I just yesterday I made a video about that. Is that like depending on how you're wired, sometimes you need someone to like come and tell you like, hey, chill out, you're doing okay. Because like at least the way I'm wired, I'm like, okay, I got to list more, I got to buy more, I got to keep going. Like I'm chasing these numbers, I'm doing things just because that's how I'm wired, and that's a benefit for sure. But that can't come at the cost of my family. That can't come at the cost of my like actual job. Like these are things that are really important to me. And so like uh, how to find that balance, I think is different for every person. But reminding yourself that this is not the end all be all is valuable and is important. Because yeah, it doesn't like if I were to do my first year of doing this, I did $200,000 in sales, which is awesome. And so it's like if I were to do, let's say $500,000 in sales, which seems unlikely, but let's say I were to do that. But at the same time, it's like I'm missing significant things that are really important to me. Then it's like, is it worth it? And I know the answer to that question is no, but you still feel that like internal drive to like
Hmm.
do more. And so you just have to battle those things and be like, okay, like, what is really important to me. It's different for every person, like that, the answer to that question for sure. So,
Yeah. No, I think I'm
yeah.
like very similar to you. Like hearing you say that, I'm like, oh, that's exactly how I am because when I first started, and even still today, but I have gotten better, I think, is that I always want to be looking for collections, trying to sort cards
Yep.
to list them, and then do all this
Yep.
stuff and try to just work as much as possible. But then I
Hmm.
realized it was taken away from like family time and being with my fiance. So
Yeah.
I had to learn how
Yeah, dude.
to kind of like detach a little bit so that I could still
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
live and like be
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
So
dude.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that's helpful for me, and this is, yeah, just kind of a perk, or I guess like a learning from my job, is so like as a pastor, I get to officiate like weddings and funerals, right? And unfortunately, like with the funeral side of things, I've done a lot of like visiting people in their like, last days, right?
Hmm.
Like where they're like, hey, like, they're probably going to pass away soon. And I can tell you, those are always sobering moments, but I've never like sat down with someone and chatted with them when they're in that moment and they're like, oh, thank goodness I'm able to give all this money to my family. Thank goodness I put in all those extra hours. Like, thank goodness I made all that extra money. Like, they always talk about their family and the things that, they're passionate about, because those are what's most important. And so, like, business, like, growing, making money, like all that's really cool. But yeah, just keeping the main thing is valuable, especially if you're wired to like want to keep going, want to grow, want to
Hmm.
drive. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
No, that's very true. I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in like making more money and
Yeah,
ignore everything else.
yeah.
So
Or
yeah.
YouTube, bro. Like you make like content. Like how many times it's like, I got to shoot another video. Like I,
Yeah.
I want to keep growing. Like and is this the same thing where, recording, editing, and doing that stuff? It takes time, and it's just another thing,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I think it would be helpful to people to know is like thinking of doing something and planning to do something usually takes longer than actually doing the task. Like, if I were to
Yes.
think and
Yes.
plan all day to make a video, I would not be able to make a video every day. But
Yep.
I set up my phone, pick a topic that I wrote down like whenever I thought of it, and then I just start talking.
Yep.
And it takes me like
Yep.
20 minutes in total. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, dude.
I don't
Yep.
know. I think that's very important for people to know.
100%. Like if you're watching and you are someone where you're like, hey, I want to start doing content, do two things. Have a note on your phone that just is for ideas. And anytime you have an idea of like, huh, like that's interesting, like I could talk about that for a little while, write it down. Okay. And then the other thing is just like Andrew's saying, just press record. Just start recording, just start making content. And even if it's not great, like you'll find out quick, do you like doing it or do you not like doing it?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, totally, man.
Yeah, it is. At first, it was stressful, like getting into the making videos because I never talked on a camera before in my life. I like never
Sure.
done it
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
publicly, and I don't know. It's been a good progress. I think like if I were to probably watch my first few videos, it would be night
Yeah,
and day.
dude.
I bet, but yeah.
Yeah,
And then I was
yeah.
gonna ask you like, how did you get into the making content and doing all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just kind of felt like I had a story that I wanted to tell, and there are a lot of people like in our shoes where they have a life and a job, and they also wouldn't mind like having like a side business or a business where they sell collectibles. And I also like the camera stuff or like the speaking stuff or the like. I have a lot of time where I've been like in front of people or like
Hmm.
recording stuff or speaking, and so that part wasn't like really the growing edge for me. But learning like the recording stuff or learning like editing stuff, like I don't know anything about that, so I knew I had to learn those things. So yeah, I just kind of was like, oh, I'll make some content and just kind of document my journey a little bit, and it's been so cool just to yeah like you've done, just be able to help people, get to connect with people, get to meet people, and help them on their journey, and it does stretch you. Like it's just something
Hmm.
where it's a new skill to learn. It's a great yeah. I don't know. So I think if anyone is on the fence of doing it, like my encouragement would be to just do it, just start making content and see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And there's something about like helping people and hearing that feedback from them is it's like very rewarding. Like getting those comments and saying, "Oh, you helped me,
Yep.
start my store and grow it." But granted, like sure we did help them, but they also put in the work, and I think they need to be
Yep.
aware that like they are also working hard and getting those like
Yep.
scaling their business like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fulfilling. I would say like it is very fulfilling to like be able to help someone, to come alongside someone, to coach them and help them do something better. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And then the next thing is like we talked about the slowdown right now that's currently going on, and then also wanting to
Mhm.
work a lot, like always wanting to be busy. So how do you manage when it slows down, and then you also want to keep working? So like, how do you manage that?
Um, yeah, I think a couple things. The content, like being able to step into the YouTube space, has definitely been something that's been helpful there, because when I don't have a collection to list, or I don't have something like that I need to do, like I can always record something, I can always do something in that vein. Um, and yeah, I think it's like just getting creative and innovating with like, well, what are things that I can do? And at least like for me, like I always have bulk laying around that I could sort through. So if I really need something to do, there's that. But I think like right now, like when things are slow, I'm just trying to make the most out of that, and maybe spend a little more time in the evenings, like pressing pause and hanging out with my wife or doing family stuff. Just because I know like it's not always going to be slow like this, and I want to be able to ramp things up when they get busy. And so being able to put some capital, the capital being time, into like the marriage bank now
Mm-hmm.
is I think gonna be worthwhile later. So, but you're engaged, so you're gonna get to wade into those waters very soon. So that's
Yeah.
exciting, man.
Yeah, I'm
That's cool.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then like, well, I guess I'll ask the next.
Uh,
It's
yeah.
what is the biggest mistake you've made, and then how did you recover from that?
Yeah. Biggest mistake that I've made was probably so I've made all sorts of mistakes. Which again, if you're like new to this, or you're thinking about getting into this, like you're going to screw up. Like you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna buy a collection, and you're gonna, oh shoot, I lost some money here. It's gonna happen. So you just have to be able to roll with it. Because I'm not telling you to intentionally go make mistakes, but I'm just saying like you're gonna do it. I bought. So I've been like kind of moving some Japanese boxes just like locally here and there.
Hmm.
I've got someone in Japan that I'll order from, that I can get stuff at good cost at, and then sell them here and make like, I don't know, 15, $20 a box or something like that when I sell them in person. And that's been cool. But when Heatwave came out, I think I bought boxes at like $92 a box or something like that. And I sold a lot of them around like 100 or 105. But as they kept like dropping, I sold like maybe my last 10 at like 80 or something like that. And so I definitely lost money on those last boxes that I got rid of. And so in the Japanese world, just be careful picking up boxes close to the release of them, because they do drop pretty quickly. So
Hmm. I think
yeah.
I learned that too this year. I bought a bunch of Journey Together or Battle Partners is what the Japanese
Yeah,
version.
yeah, 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 yeah. I did the same thing with that one
I
too.
got screwed. It was so hard to sell it. Like
Yeah.
even at a loss,
Yeah.
it's hard to sell. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and that sucks for sure. Yeah, so that was a big one. Yeah, how about you, man? What's the biggest mistake you made?
Well, apart from that one, which is more recent, but a lot of mistakes I made in the beginning were actually happened one time, and I learned from it. Thankfully, is don't send payment with Zelle or Cash App or friends and family to
Oh
people that
yeah,
you don't know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't know why I was trying to buy cards on Craigslist. That apparently that was like a thing to look at when I first started, and
That's awesome.
yeah, this guy had, I think it was like a bunch of base set booster packs, and he's like, oh, $400 for all this. And at the time, it was probably worth like $10,000. So I Zelled him $400 and then ghost. Nothing, like I just
Yep,
lost the money. So
yep, yeah. Oh
fortunately, I
goodness, dude. Yeah,
learned.
I've had a few times early on, again, before I like made sure to do goods and services, where I, yeah, just lost a couple $100 here and there, because yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because
yep,
I mean,
sucks.
even, and then another time it almost happened to me was this one guy I was buying from. I bought like four different times from him, like collections. And the fifth time, it was like 5 months after we've last talked. And he's like, I have this collection, but can you send it friends and family? And I said, I'm sorry, I know we've
Mm.
done business, but I just can't do it. And I paid him with goods and service, But then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, hey, did you ever ship this? Blocked. Like he blocked me. So I was like,
Yikes,
thank
dude.
God I didn't, send it friends and family.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the worst, man. I don't know how people. Yeah. I don't know. It's messy, man. Like
Hmm.
it's you got to be down pretty bad to be scamming people with the
Yeah.
whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. And honestly, just trust your gut. Like if something doesn't feel right, don't risk
Yep.
the money. You
Yep.
could find a collection
Yep.
anywhere. You could find bulk anywhere.
Yep.
It's like you don't have to don't over leverage yourself on making a deal if you don't
Yep.
feel like you have to.
Yes. Yes. Gosh, the feeling of like driving away from a deal where I had the like spidey senses going off of like, oh, like this is not great. And then like I just went through with the deal or whatever. Like that feeling of driving home after that is just kind of the worst. Where it's
Mm,
like, dude, if it feels weird and the guy seems shady and all those like warning signs are going off, just dip. Like no
yeah,
one's like you don't have to go through with it.
yeah.
Yeah, like I've had that happen a couple times early on
Hmm.
for sure.
Oh, it sounds like you for
Yeah,
yours it was local transactions.
yeah. It was. I do a lot of local stuff. The area that I live in, like there is a pretty big scene of local people
Hmm.
who are always like buying and selling, and so yeah. But there have just been like a few local times where I've met up with someone, and it's like this is kind of weird. There's actually been one time where like they started negotiating like after we had met up, and I was like, "Hey man, like I'm out. I'll see you later, bro." And
Yeah.
it was kind of weird, but it just is what it is.
No, that's good on you. I was thinking about that too. Like negotiate before you meet, and then
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it.
Yep.
Like don't go there, and then someone's trying to change the price on you or whatever. It's very annoying when that happens. So good
Yeah,
on
it
you
is.
for
It
like
is super
staying.
annoying, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%, man.
And then I guess like this is a little bit off topic, but actually
Yeah,
another thing I wanted to ask about that is like since it's summertime now and people are probably meeting up more in person, like for the people
yeah,
watching, definitely don't if something seems suspicious or like weird, don't meet with those people in public because it's not worth it. Like it's not worth your safety
yeah,
or anything getting like anything bad happening to you, you know?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like use your. I was like, if you have to be relative. If you're gonna do in-person meetups, you have to be an intuitive person. You have to have like a decent amount of intuition that you can lean on to be like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't seem right. Like, and if you know that you don't or you're not someone who has that, then probably avoid in-person meetups and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of people will try to take advantage too. Like if you come off nice,
Yes.
they'll
Yes.
they'll try to
Yep. Yep.
increase the price or do something, and it's happened to me a
Yep.
lot too. Like this one store owner I used to work with, I stopped working with him because he tried to do it so often. It's like we'll agree on a price, he'll kind of like we'll come meet, and then he'll try to sell me something else like for super expensive, and it's just I don't know, it's annoying to deal with.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but then the question I was going
Crazy.
to ask was, when you're dealing with selling stuff online and TCG Player, how do you deal with negative reviews, and then what do you do to like, do you even worry about them, or do you just try to
Yeah.
fix them?
Yeah, like the answer, I guess, to this question is not like a is not an awesome one because if you're new, like this isn't going to be something that you're pumped about, but
Hmm.
it's bound to happen, and you refund and move on.
Yeah,
Like someone like gives you a bad like says, hey, this card never arrived, or like, hey, this card's in the wrong condition, or like, hey, this person's scamming people. It's like I'll send you an envelope with a stamp and a return label or a return address, and then you refund them, you block them from your store, and you move on. And that
yeah,
sucks, and it does because you're not making money there, you're losing money, and it is just the cost of doing business. It's going to happen. You just kind of have to be okay with it, and it sucks.
yeah. One thing I enjoy, or I guess it makes it a lot better, is if they reach out to me first, saying there's an issue, and then
Yeah.
give us the
Yep.
opportunity
Yep.
to fix it, rather than they just go
Yep.
leave a bad review, don't reach out or anything, and it's like, what do you do at that point? I guess because for me, if someone leaves a negative review and they don't reach out, I just let it go. Like I'm not gonna reach out to them and
Yep.
try to fix something because who knows if they'll even remove the review. Yeah,
100%, dude. Yeah.
yeah. And then one thing, like we kind of talked about it a little, but is where do you find your inventory usually? And
Yeah.
like, is it in Facebook groups or how do you do that?
Yeah, it is mostly, yeah, Facebook groups, like the local Facebook group is where I find a lot of it, or Marketplace. Like I will go on Marketplace and negotiate with people there, and that's really only available if you live in an area that's like relatively large. Um, yeah, that's where I find it. I haven't done a ton of like sourcing inventory on eBay or national groups, like a little bit, but that's definitely an area that I could do more of. So.
So like since you've been doing this for probably over a year now, I think, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, just over a year. Yep.
yeah. So what is something that you wish that you knew when you were first starting out?
Um, oh, that's a really good question. I wish I would have, um, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have been so concerned with making money initially. Like I think initially I was just like, oh, is this going to be profitable? Is this going to, and because I was just learning stuff. It's like you just learn so much on the front end where you improve your systems and you get everything in place. And I was just so consumed with like making sure that every transaction was profitable, and every card I got was profitable. And I spent so much time trying to like track profits on individual orders. And it's like, it's just the more you scale, the more you learn like that it's impossible. And so if I would have just invested that time into tracking profits on listing more cards or buying more collections, it would have been so much more beneficial for sure.
Yeah, I think that's huge because I think everyone goes through that phase when they're first starting off. They try to track every single card and see how much profit you made on whichever, and each so time consuming, and people don't realize until it's too late or like until they've already put in so much time. And then once you start doing it and ignoring that and like analyzing everything, you will start to scale a lot quicker.
Yeah,
Because I remember I would buy
man.
bulk, like 500 cards, and then I'd write down every single card in a spreadsheet and try to calculate the profits on there.
Yeah, 100%, man.
I think for me it would be learning from other people like online because no,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the majority of people doing this, it's probably their first time selling something online. Like I know for me, I've never done it before, so learn from people, like get those basic tips and fundamentals, and then try to take things and do it on your own, and like learn
yep,
from there too, because experience is big.
yeah. That's true, man. That's great.
hmm And then I guess to wrap things up, is there anything that you want to share with the viewers or anything you want to talk about?
No, I mean, like, I make content on YouTube like you do. So, check out my channel, and I've got videos. Like Andrew said initially, like I focus definitely more on TCGplayer, where that's like pretty much like the biggest part of my strategy is selling on that platform. And so, yeah, if you're looking to learn more about that, or just catch up on my story and what's kind of led me here, yeah, I'd love to have you guys check it out. But other than that, nothing really to plug, man.
Yeah, yeah, guys, definitely check out his channel, and the name is Poke Pastor
Yeah,
TCG.
Poke Pastor TCG.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, definitely
Yeah.
check it out. It's a lot like my videos, but it's also focused on TCG players, so it'll be very helpful for all of you that are in the reselling industry and like trying to learn everything you can. So definitely check that out. And honestly, TJ, it was great talking to you. First time doing this like podcast style video. I've never done
Yeah,
it before,
yeah.
so
This is great, man.
yeah, it was great. And if you
Yeah,
ever
no,
want
this is cool. Yeah, well, thanks for making your videos, man. And I just know, like, when I was starting out on my journey, I can't remember what month did you start making content?
I think January, but I took like a 2 month gap after that.
Yeah. So whenever you started making content, I definitely was watching initially, and it was beneficial for me. Even like, because if you guys are like meant for business at all, what's cool is you'll be able to learn from people, even if you're not doing like the exact same thing that they're doing. Like if someone sells on a different platform or even sells like other things, you'll be able to pick up on good nuggets here and there. And so, yeah, thanks for making your content, man. And yeah, thanks for the conversation. This is good stuff, dude.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, TJ. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. This is good, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely down to do something like this again, or even like if you're ever just like looking to connect or chat or talk cards, I'm game, bro.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Same here. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Yeah. Peace, buddy.
All right. Take care, man. Thank you all for watching this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my first time making like a long form interview slash podcast style video, so feel free to comment and let me know how you guys thought it went, or like anything you'd like to see in the future. And also comment down below any other Pokemon or TCG YouTubers that you would want me to collab with and make more videos like this so that you guys could learn in a similar style, because this is very fun talking to TJ at Poke Pastor TCG, and I definitely like to do this with any other YouTubers that might be interested. So definitely comment down below if you have anyone to recommend. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great week.